This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Do you have a point of sale system you can trust, or is it a real POS? You need Shopify for retail. From accepting payments to managing inventory, Shopify POS has everything you need to sell in person. Go to shopify.com/system, all lowercase, to take your retail business to the next level today. That's shopify.com/system.
This is the Jeanine Pirro Show. Now, here's Judge Jeanine Pirro.
Welcome back to the Judge Jeanine Tunnel to Towers Foundation show. Joining us now are Linda and Ken Koldenhoven, co-authors of Connecting Around the Table. It is a very special book, and I thought I'd make a change from what we normally talk about, which is politics and the events of the day, because it makes us all crazy. So I thought that bringing in a wonderful couple that I've known for many years, who live in Florida, and they have been married amazingly for over 47 years. They have adult children and grandchildren. And Ken is a businessman, and he loves to cook, by the way. And Linda, her background is in fashion and entertainment, and she loves to design beautiful table settings for Ken's meals. So they wrote a book, folks, and it's called Connecting Around the Table. And I made a decision to break from politics, and I hope that you'll sit back and kind of just breathe in and listen for a few minutes about, how we can maybe calm our lives or maybe put some more value in every day, because we seem to be running like, crazy people with our heads off. So welcome, Ken and Linda. I'm thrilled to have you guys on. How are you doing?
Thanks so much, Jeanine. We're good.
Well, thank you, Jeanine. It's such an honor to be on the show with you.
Oh,
thank you so much.
I love you guys. You know that. And my viewers will know that I love you both. Now, I'm looking at your book. It's called Connecting Around the Table, Discover the Power of Eating Together as a Family. Now, I think that most people listening would think about the fact possibly that the last time they really ate as a family was when they were a little kid, if you're my age. Because kids today are always running, and actually I'm always running. We're running. But I think we've lost so much, Ken and Linda, in the last few years, especially post-COVID, and we're constantly being distracted. So you write this book that kind of says, everybody, come on back. Tell us about it.
Well, I think today it's more important than ever that we gather around the table because, when you and I were growing up, the 10 Commandments was in our schools and on our buildings, and there wasn't a lot of resources for us if we had questions. So we had to kind of go to your parents or family. Now today, if a child has a question on something, they're inundated with the internet and with all the social media stuff, and it normalizes all this crazy stuff. And kids are believing it. Kids are lost. They're lonely. And so we love the fact that when you get around the table, you can find out what's going on. We learned kind of the hard way. We were building our business and we were gone, and we weren't doing this. We weren't practicing this. And we just saw how we were getting disconnected. And so we changed our life. We made a conscious effort to say, you know what? We're going to gather and connect around the table. And we did, and it changed our lives.
Well,
and Jeanine, go ahead.
Go ahead,
I was
Linda.
just going to say, we all know there's such an attack on our children right now in America. The radical left, they just want to break up the traditional family. As Ken said, they took God out of our schools, our country. And now, unfortunately, God is out of, away from our table, our families. And that's leadership begins in the home. We have to start bringing it back around the table, even if it's a night a week to start out with, because our kids are yearning for guidelines, for support, for emotional support, for all kinds of, character building, morals. They're going to only learn it from their family members.
Yeah. Yeah. And, with the advent of the internet and, with the phones that our kids have, they're learning everything from the phone and they're learning from social media on craziness that is being normalized. And, they're constantly distracted. And the truth is, you go to a restaurant today, let's assume, Ken and Linda Koldenhoven, that you have a family that are actually eating together. Well, the problem is everybody's on their phone and no one's talking to each other. You and I we can talk about this for the next 20 minutes, but how do we get people to put the phones down?
Well, we cover that in the book. That is your table has to be a no cell phone zone.
It's
no TV. Yeah.
Except for the 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you just have to put your foot down. And, they might bicker a little bit at first. But then, actually, Janine, when you get everybody around the table and without the distractions and you really start talking and asking questions, they lighten up. They open up. And then they have a good time and they look forward to it. I wish that we can all go back to President Ronald Reagan. We have this on his quote on the back of our book.
Yeah, I'm looking at
where
it.
He said in his farewell address, all great change in America begins at the dinner table.
Yeah.
And that is so true. If we could just get back to that.
Well, and I'm looking at it right now, and it really is such a profound statement. In today's fast-paced world, it is easy for families to drift apart. But you guys, when you made the decision to really focus and change things, you made the decision to do it around the table, as opposed to some other thing. We can all go to church together, or we can all go to concerts together, or we can all do this. Food, in the book, you talk about the food of the Bible. Talk about that, Ken.
Yeah.
Well, I think for us, we just, God gave us this, we have to renew our mind, body, and soul every day. Getting around the table really helps accomplish all 3 at once. You ladies have an advantage. You guys can multitask about 50 things. Guys really have trouble with 1 or 2 things.
Thank you.
So, for us to get around the table and to work together, it builds all of our strengths. But, we do a salad, which is kind of fun. We call it the Fruits of the Spirit salad. And I just do a lot of different fruits in there and get the kids involved in making the dressing. But, the fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control from Galatians 5:22 and 23. And, we want to instill that in our conversations. We're very intentional on the questions that we have when we're around the table, especially when the kids were younger. One of the first questions after we gave thanks was, what did you do nice for somebody today? But we also had the kids serve each other because we wanted that servant attitude.
Yeah.
And that's why we started with that question, because the kids knew that they were going to have to be accountable for how they treated other people. And so that just worked good for us. It got us then around getting to know each other. After you get over the shock of not having your phone at the table and looking down and looking at people in the eyes, and then you can see their reactions. You can see their faces that they're making. And it just opens up a whole new level of communication that a lot of these kids haven't seen or haven't known.
Right. It's interpersonal communication. And as you're talking, Ken, I'm looking at the book, Ken Koldenhoven and Linda. Choosing whole grains over refined grains provides fiber. So you not only talk about the theory behind this book of connecting around the table, but you actually have recipes in it. And then you talk about, and you connect it to the Bible, Genesis, and whole grains. Tell us about that one, Linda.
Larry Kudlow here with an urgent warning. Washington is coming for your savings to pay for their spending mistakes. That's why thousands of Americans are shielding their savings with gold. For a free 2024 gold guide that explains everything you need to know, please go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/Kudlow or just call 800-621-3908. That's 800-621-3908 for your free gold guide and learn if you qualify for up to $7,500 in free silver now.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Do you have a point of sale system you can trust, or is it a real POS? you need Shopify for retail. From accepting payments to managing inventory, Shopify POS has everything you need to sell in person. Go to shopify.com/system, all lowercase, to take your retail business to the next level today. That's shopify.com/system.
Thursday Night Football is on, and it's only on Prime Video.
Picked off at the 1-yard line.
This week, it's the boys versus the G-men as the Dallas Cowboys battle the New York Giants.
This is unbelievable.
Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with TNF Tonight, presented by Verizon. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game. It's the Cowboys and the Giants, Thursday at 7, only on Prime Video. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Ready to ring in the new semester? Pink's got A-plus styles for heading back to campus. Made for early morning classes, midday coffee runs, and late-night study sessions. Their latest looks are everything you need to pass with flying colors. We're talking tanks that go with literally every fit, parachute pants with a throwback 90s vibe, plus cute sweaters, activewear, and so much more. Shop now at pink.com or get 15% off in Pink stores with a valid student ID. Exclusions apply.
Well, the food pretty much is Ken's, as you know. Ken's the cook around here.
Can I tell you, I've had, Ken makes the most phenomenal food. And I have to tell you, to tell my listeners, I don't know, it was about 5 years ago. You know, when you have a recipe for like 15 years, you say to yourself, one weekend when I have time, I'm going to make these pancakes. Well, Ken and Linda came over and it was no big deal. After 15 years, Ken made the pancakes. They were phenomenal, either with lemon and this and that. I threw the recipe away because I knew after that I could never top it. But Ken, you talk about whole grains and Genesis. Tell us about that.
Well, we believe in the Bible and we believe in creation, and God gave us such an amazing array of foods to enjoy. And we're sometimes going in the grocery store for convenience and picking up things that we can't even pronounce some of the things in the ingredient list. And that's just not good for us. It's not the way God intended us for us to eat. He gave us a lot of natural, wonderful things to fill our bodies with. And we need to try to get back to that. The good whole grains, the good real foods, and get, anything with, stuff you can't pronounce, don't buy it.
So basically, we came up with, creation, and we use the acronym for that. So C is for choice. And so you have to choose healthy food. Excuse me. And then can you take R is for relax?
R is for relax and savor the moments. It's people are eating in the cars and going from one practice to another.
Yeah.
And even if you don't cook and you bring home takeout, put it in a plate. Find a place to sit and relax. You've got to rest. Now, Jesus relaxed and reclined around the table with all the people he ate with. And then we go to E. It's just encourage conversations for growth. Be intentional about the questions you ask. Because, in all those, you're going to be encouraging your family. A is just achieve a fun family atmosphere and get everybody actively involved.
And, I'm looking at the book, Ken and Linda, and, on page 21, folks, this is a great book. I got to tell you, it really is. It says, take time after dinner to sit and talk. Okay, great. And then I say to myself, as soon as I read that, yeah, right. But then the next point is the subtitle, clean later. Don't be in such a hurry to clean the kitchen. Now, I'm out there with the Glass Plus in the food before they even finish dinner. I'm like, I'm cleaning the glass table. But, Dr. Alveda King wrote the foreword to this book. Why did she do that?
She came from a family of where they gathered around the table. And she loves to cook herself. And, she has many recipes, has that little cooking show on Fox, I think. And so her family was all about this. So she said, I would be happy. We need to get around the table. And so she was thrilled to do it for us. She wrote a beautiful foreword for us.
It is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. And, it is. It's exactly what we need to take time to invest in our family relationships. Like, you said Ken's a businessman, and he's always said, spending time with your family, investing in your family is the best return on investment you will ever have. And we've seen that with our kids. Our kids, they're all grown. Mm-hmm. And they practice, it's kind of a legacy. We're proud of that all three of our kids are married, and they actually cook together, pray together, and hang out around the table with their kids. So it's fun.
Yeah, it is a beautiful way to create memories for young children today who are living in a crazy world. And I am just fascinated with this book, Connecting Around the Table, folks. Ken and Linda Koldenhoven. It is, where can you get the book, guys?
Well, all they can do is Amazon, of course, but they can also go to our website, connectingaroundthetable.com. You can order the book from there, and you can actually see some other fun things about actually how Ken loves to cook with a torch, and he loves to cook tell guys how to cook. He's not a pyromaniac or anything, but boy, you should see him with that torch. He can make a hot dog in 30 seconds.
Is that right? I tell you, my grandson, who's 3, Cammy now, he's really into hot dogs. And all I do is I just keep cutting it and cutting it and cutting it because I don't want him to choke. But he'd get a charge out of torching it, although that kind of scares me. But folks, it's a beautiful cover that my friends you're a beautiful couple, Ken and Linda Koldenhoven. The cover of the book is beautiful. The concept is beautiful. Discover the power of eating together as a family. I want to thank you, Ken and Linda Koldenhoven, my very, very good friends. You wrote a beautiful book. God bless you. And
thank you, Janine.
You're more than welcome. And folks, there's so much in this book. It's a lot about cooking and eating and recipes and religion and all of the stuff that counts in the end. All right. God bless you guys.
Hey,
take care.
Thank you. Love you, Janine.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So which category do you fall into? Do you fall into the category where you follow a story to the end and go through all the ups and downs and twists and turns and you wait to the end? Or are you one of those people who wants to know the end of the movie or the story before you watch it? So in defense of spoiling the end of TV, one therapist suggests that people who prefer spoilers, listen to this, if you're the one who wants to know what the end of the story is, they typically value predictability, ease, comfort, clarity, and a sense of control. Okay, these therapists make me crazy. So when you anticipate something bad happening, like when the music starts to turn, your heart starts pumping, then you're not enjoying yourself anymore. And he says that according to this study, it turns out people enjoy a story more when they know how it ends. Like, hello, validation. I'm not one of those people. I don't want to know how the story ends. I don't need immediate gratification, and I'd rather go through the twists and turns. Otherwise, what's the point? That according to one therapist, they say it reflects an unmet need for certainty in their own lives. Well, if you need certainty, sit down and map out your own life and stop mapping out the end of a movie. And then one says you shouldn't feel bad if you need to know the end of the movie. I think you should. You just miss, all the emotion. And, although some people watch because they don't have time and they want to get to the end of it, that's okay. But that's not me. If you can't enjoy the whole thing, I don't want to know what the ending is. All right.
This is the Judge Janine Show.